alternative policies that are attractive, better than that which the government now is pursuing? Or is it voter fatigue? Is it just that the people having, been in this relationship for the last 9 years
or 10 years
want to try someone else? Is this just that?
No,
I think that's a part of it as well, neighbor. I think voter fatigue is a big part of it, neighbor. Neighbor, well, one of the things what I look at, neighbor, Foresight talk about messaging. Messaging is a big, important thing. Neighbor, look at how the PNP is carrying out their message. Neighbor, look at even with this drill saga. It is being carried out by who? A person who is seeking some form of election, a person who is a candidate in the People's National Party. It is not, you don't say Mark Gold, you don't say the GenSec of the party. It's been done by Mr. Dawes. Even look at the whole water quality thing the other day. We saw where a mere councillor took up that on his hand. He was gaining a lot of media attention from it. Now when you look at the Jamaica Labour Party, neighbor, and how we carry out our message is being spent by one person, neighbor. One person.
Yes, and the Labour rights will knock me for this, but I see Mr. Marlon Morgan in Cliffview studio. Mr. Morgan.
Neighbor, I'm going to tell you something. You see this Mr. Morgan thing, neighbor, they need to know how they are marketing Morgan. Morgan is not on the ballot, neighbor. We need persons who are on the ballot. Persons who are seeking re-election to come and talk on the party behalf, neighbor. Too much of this, Mr. Morgan.
But we have said this before, the neighbor. We need more than just one politician or two politicians to be carrying the message. We need all politicians to be echoing the message.
Why they didn't put Rhoda in the studio this evening, sir?
Exactly.
What Mr. Morgan are doing in the studio?
A Crystal Lee.
You have something personal against Mr. Morgan, neighbor.
No, I don't think he's ready. I just don't think he is a very good. I don't think he communicates very well. I think when you look at Mr. Morgan,
I think he used too much.
One army hat one time. Total nonsense.
I think he used too much big words still. But let me just say this. In terms of the traction, no, I don't see the People's National Party gaining any traction per se. What I think is happening, neighbor.
What do you mean they're not gaining any traction, Carl?
No,
they picked up 4 points between February and March. Doing nothing?
No, hold on. Just hold on, please. I'm saying I'm not seeing there's no groundswell for the People's National Party. The numbers are just about the same. Okay,
exactly.
Hold on. So the numbers are just about the same, right? What I think is what is causing so much concern for us. We are looking at the performance of the government and say there should be a clear, distinct distance between the People's National Party and our party. I don't know for somebody else because if you look at the People's National Party, there were 31% in May. In February in this poll, there are still 31%. The only thing that we fell down by 1%. And right, and the undecided.
No, sorry, did you see the poll? The PNP has gained 4 points.
No. The party standing was 35 towards the Labour Party and 31 towards the People's National Party. The last election, the last in February poll, it was 34 towards the Jamaica Labour Party and 28.
So if you are Carl, then if you are 28 and again 30, they gain points.
Well, they gain 3 points while we
gain 4 points.
It's 30
plus 27. They gain 4 points.
They
gain 4 points while we drop one, but while we drop a point. But still,
we didn't drop any point.
There's no groundswell. If you look, there's no groundswell that is telling us that the moment. What has also happened too? The undecided block has increased, and there are a lot of people that there are more people that cannot decide whether or not Mark Gold is to lead the country as against Andrew Onis. The poll highlight that. But separate and apart from that, what I want to highlight, neighbor, is that Foresight, I have been feeling this thing from the last month or so, and that's why I was so adamant that the party hierarchy need to get the campaign going on, tackle the seats, and hit the road. When they say that, people say you must not say it because they know what they're doing. They have run 2 elections already. And see now we have maximum 8, 9, 12, 9 to 12 weeks to a general election, having 2 unsettled seats. Somebody's making
and not just hit the road. Not just hit the road.
all right, case is on. Let's just look at this.
Yeah, man, I just want to say this, the government in its message needs to address the pain point, personal pain points of the people as well when they hit the road. They need to. The bread and butter issues, more needs to be said about.
Well, my thing is neighbor again to neighbor.
Go ahead,
And I think that the political Jamaica Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party has to know what they're doing, neighbor. If you look at the favourability ratings of Mark Golding and the favourability ratings of the PNP, neighbor, Mark Golding might have a slight 1 point or 2 point lead above the PNP. But when you look from the JLP side, the party leader is outperforming the political party itself, neighbor. That simply means, neighbor, that other members that make up the political arm, neighbor, are not as popular, or they are not making themselves as much relevant to the masses then. And I think that is the issue, neighbor, that is affecting the Jamaica Labour Party. The message is there, but for 10 years, neighbor, we have been getting the message from one person. And I think there's some type of fatigue surrounding our population with the messaging being sent by that one person. And we have...
You're talking about Holness.
Yes, Mr. Holness is the person who has been for 10 years now, neighbor. Imagine you have one teacher for 10 years. At some point in time, you'll get replaced.
What we've seen on the JLP side is a little bit more. So there was a dip after the election, and then they struggled to rebound.
All right, let's see if I can take this.
However, still 1/3. They have
that's a slogan, that's a party slogan,
They have heard so far the national outlook, wrong direction, right direction, all of that. Trust in the Prime Minister, favorability of the leaders, trust in the fitness of Mr. Golding to be Prime Minister, all of that so far. But what does it mean for what people intend to do when they step into that voting booth? And so we now have those results. We asked, if a general election were being held today, which political party's candidate would you vote for in your constituency? 35% of voters would select the JLP candidate in their constituency, causing the JLP to hold a narrow lead over the opposition, who would garner 31%. However, still 1/3 of the electorate remains undecided. Cliff, you are projecting 12 weeks out from an election. So 3 months out, we still have 1/3 of the electorate undecided. Now, I want us to understand that this is the lowest that the undecided proportion has been for quite some time, right? And so if we are to look at this question over time, we see some fluctuations happening as far back as September 2020, right? So that was right before the last election. We had a 49-32 split. We know what the result of that election turned out to be. The things have shifted, and now we are back to 35 for the JLP and 31 for the PNP. The PNP has slowly picked up momentum, and we need to not ignore that. Let's look at the numbers through time. September 2021, 22%. A year later, 18%. By February 2023, 21%. September 2023, 25%. February 2024, 28%. Again, same proportion in September 2024 and February 2025 at 28%. And now inching up again, 31%. It suggests a slow and steady, slow burn type of ground swelling type of approach. Every time we do the poll, they pick up a little bit more, and they pick up a little bit more, and they pick up a little bit more, and it has not reverted, right? It's not dipping and coming up and dipping, and it's consistent, trudging along and growing.
And so if you were to do a graph, it would show a steady.
It would show a steady rise from that 22% a year after the last election, now reaching 31%.
Yes.
What we are projecting to be potentially 3 months out.
What would
from
it
the
show
next
from the
one.
JLP if you did a graph? That graph it would show from 37% to 35%.
Right. So
Yes.
what we've seen on the JLP side is a little bit more. So there was a dip after the election, and then they struggled to rebound from that dip. And since then, for some time, almost a year, it was just holding steady. Right. So their graph would be a lot more interesting in terms of shape. So it's going to start high. It would have dipped.
All right. So we have that. We have Adrian Samuda here from the People's National Party. Good night, Mr. Samuda.
Good night, neighbor.
Yes, I think we should tell the listeners that you are associated with the Kurt Walls campaign, right, sir?
Yes, definitely.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And you're a member of the People's National Party.
Yes, I am.
Great. Mr. Samuda, the People's National Party have not decided to comment on the Blue Dot polls. And so your comments, I trust, are your own, right?
That's my own independent comment. Any comment I make.
Fantastic. We clear that. Scratchy is our co-host. And Mr. Samuda, tell me, what do you make of these polls?
Well, the poll is a reflection of what the Jamaican people are facing, I am labeled as a PNP, but as I've always tell people, I am a businessman first and a citizen of Jamaica.
But you're not labeled as a PNP, Mr. Samuda. You are a member of the party.
Yeah, I am a member of the party, but I became a member of the party 2020. All my life I have been a business operator. I have been a father, a husband, prior to being a member of the party. So when I speak as a business operator and as a father, as a husband. Now, what the polls are reflecting, notwithstanding the macro achievement, is what the households are going through and business operators are facing. And we can see it in Southwest St. Catherine right here in the business community.
Would you say though, Mr. Samuda, that Jamaica is not divorced from the world, and that some of our economic indicators are outside of the control of government?